What if I told you that before Zeus ruled the sky, before Poseidon ruled the sea, before Hades ruled the underworld, there was something older than all of them? Not a king, not a hero, not even a god in the way you'd expect. Just chaos. And if you think chaos means mess or randomness, you're only half right. Because in Greek mythology, chaos wasn't just disorder. Chaos was the beginning, the void, the gap, the first thing that existed before the universe had shape, order, or meaning. And the strangest part? Chaos didn't need to fight Zeus, didn't need to overthrow him, didn't need a throne, because chaos was there before the throne existed. So today, we're going to talk about the most mysterious force in Greek mythology, the one that came before the gods, before the monsters, before the world itself. This is the story of chaos. To understand chaos, you have to forget almost everything modern people mean when they say the word. Today, chaos means noise, confusion, disaster, a room full of people talking at once, or your life the week before finals. But in ancient Greek thought, chaos was something much deeper. Chaos was the primordial void. Not darkness exactly, not emptiness exactly, not even nothing in the simple sense. It was more like a vast opening, a gap, a yawning space, an unformed state of existence before anything had structure. In the earliest Greek cosmology, chaos appears at the very beginning of creation, before the earth, before the sky, before the sea, before the gods who would later fight, love, betray, and rule. Chaos came first, and that alone makes it terrifying, because most mythological beings are powerful in a familiar way. Zeus throws lightning, Poseidon shakes the earth, Ares brings war, Athena brings wisdom. But chaos? Chaos is not a weapon. Chaos is not a person you can reason with. Chaos is the condition that makes everything else possible. It's the blank page before the story, the silence before the first sound, the space before the first star. And that means chaos is not just ancient. Chaos is fundamental. One of the most fascinating things about chaos is that the ancient sources don't always describe it the same way. That's because chaos is one of those mythic concepts that sits between philosophy and story. In Hesiod's Theogony, one of the earliest and most important Greek creation texts, chaos is the first thing to emerge. Then come other primordial beings and forces like Gaia, Tartarus, and Eros. But chaos itself is not described like a normal character with a face, a voice, or a personality. That's what makes it so eerie. You can't picture chaos the way you picture Zeus on a throne or Athena in armor. Chaos is more like an absence that somehow exists, a contradiction, a thing that is and isn't. And that's why later thinkers and storytellers kept returning to it, because chaos is one of those ideas that feels impossible to fully grasp. If you try to define it too narrowly, you lose what makes it powerful. If you say it's just mess, you miss the point. If you say it's just nothing, that's not quite right either. Chaos is the unfixed state before order, the raw potential before form, the unknown before the known. And in mythology, the unknown is always dangerous. Because once something is unknown, it can become anything. And that's exactly what happened. Here's where chaos gets even more interesting. In some traditions, chaos is not just the first thing, it is also the source of other primordial beings. From chaos came things like Nyx, night, and Erebus, darkness. That means before the world had mountains, oceans, or cities, it had night and darkness emerging from the void. Think about that for a second. The first children of chaos are not gods of justice or beauty or civilization. They are night and darkness. That tells you everything you need to know about how the ancient Greeks imagined the beginning. Creation did not start with comfort. It started with mystery. It started with things humans fear when they cannot see. And from those primordial forces, the rest of existence slowly unfolded. This is why chaos is so important in mythology. It is not just a background detail. It is the origin point. Without chaos, there is no cosmic story, no gods, no mortals, no monsters, no heroes. Everything begins with the void, and that makes chaos more powerful than Zeus in a very specific way. Zeus rules the world that already exists. Chaos is what came before the world had rules at all. Zeus is powerful because he can punish you. Chaos is terrifying because it doesn't even need to notice you. That's the difference. Zeus is a ruler. Chaos is a condition. Zeus can be challenged, tricked, angered, or appeased. Chaos cannot be negotiated with. You can't pray to chaos for mercy. You can't make an offering to the void and expect a blessing. You can't strike a deal with the beginning of existence. And that's what makes chaos feel so much bigger than the Olympians. The Olympians are dramatic, emotional, and deeply human in their flaws. Chaos is not human at all. It is older than human thought, older than language, older than the idea of before and after. That's why modern audiences often underestimate chaos. We hear the word and think of a messy room or a wild situation, but the ancient concept is far more unsettling. Because if chaos is the first thing, then order is not the default. Order is something that had to be built. That means the universe is not naturally neat, stable, or safe. It means reality itself emerged from something vast, undefined, and unknowable. And if that doesn't make you feel a little uneasy, it should. One reason chaos remains so fascinating is that later writers, philosophers, and artists kept reinterpreting it. Sometimes chaos is treated as a cosmic void, sometimes as a gap, sometimes as a formless mass, sometimes as the raw material of creation. And over time, the word chaos began to shift toward the meaning we use today: disorder, confusion, and instability. But that modern meaning still carries a trace of the original idea, because disorder is what happens when structure breaks down, and structure is what keeps the void at bay. That's why chaos is such a powerful symbol. It represents the fear that beneath civilization, beneath law, beneath identity, there is something older and less controllable, something that does not care about human plans, something that existed before we arrived and will remain after we're gone. That's not just mythology. That's existential horror, and ancient myths understood that feeling perfectly. They didn't need modern horror movies to know that the unknown is scarier than the monster you can see. Sometimes the scariest thing is not a creature with claws. Sometimes it's the empty space where a creature could appear. Now let's compare chaos to the gods people usually know. Zeus is the king of Olympus, Poseidon rules the sea, Hades rules the dead, Athena rules wisdom and strategy. These are all domains. They have boundaries. They are powerful, yes, but their power is defined. Chaos has no boundary in the same way. It is not one domain among many. It is the condition before domains exist. That's why chaos is so hard to rank in mythology. You can't really say chaos is stronger than Zeus in a normal battle sense, because chaos is not a warrior. But if you're asking which is more fundamental, more ancient, more conceptually terrifying, chaos wins. Every time, Zeus can hurl lightning. Chaos is the reason lightning, sky, and even Zeus can exist at all. That's the kind of power that doesn't need to announce itself. It just is. And that makes chaos one of the most important figures in all of Greek mythology, even if it doesn't get the same fame as the Olympians. So why should anyone care about chaos now? Because chaos is still one of the best symbols we have for the unknown. People still use the word to describe political collapse, emotional breakdown, social instability, or personal crisis. But underneath all of that is the same ancient fear. What happens when order disappears? What happens when the structure holding everything together starts to fail? That's why chaos still feels relevant. It's not just a mythological concept, it's a reminder that order is fragile, that civilization is built, not guaranteed, that the universe we live in is not simple, and maybe never was. And maybe that's why the Greeks began their story with chaos, because before anything meaningful can exist, there has to be a space where meaning is not yet formed, a void, a beginning, a mystery. So the next time someone says chaos was just the god of disorder, remember this: chaos was not just disorder. Chaos was the first condition of existence, the void before the gods, the gap before the world, the mystery before meaning. Zeus may have ruled the sky, but chaos was there before the sky had a name. And that makes chaos one of the most terrifying and important forces in all of Greek mythology, not because it shouted the loudest, but because it came first.